Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream, Coffee with Mirko. Just today we're not brewing right away, it's already ready. So I got my coffee. Let me introduce you to one of our guests. Today we are actually hosting Charlie Chu, a South Korean barista that I've known for a few years. And he's actually the 2020 Southern Region Cup Tasting Champion. So he's a good friend of mine, and what I love about Charlie is how kind, how nice, and how just a good guy he is. So hopefully he'll join us soon. In the meantime, let's say hi to all of you. Hey Praka, hey Fairy Darm 9. So yeah. Hopefully soon we're gonna get Charlie. We're gonna talk about the preparation to compete as a barista, what it takes, his mindset around winning, and all the questions that you have. So I'm gonna actually pin the comment here. We're talking to Charlie Chu and ask any questions that you have. So, yeah, Charlie's joining us in a few minutes, and then we can get started. Hey Akbar, hey Juan, Samuel Medina Vera, Jean, how are you guys? Charlie's not here yet, so hopefully he knows what to do. He just needs to join and get from there, so we'll wait for them. In the meantime, I just want to take a chance to thank you guys for joining yesterday and the day before and every other event. These episodes are really adding value to all the people around the world during this pandemic, so hopefully you guys are safe. And hey Mauro Gomez, how are you? What's good? Andre74. So we're waiting for Charlie Chu. Once he joins, we'll be able to ask him to request a live stream. So hopefully he does that, and I might flick him a message just in case. Let's have a look. No, I can't. Without getting out the app. Sí, hablo español, Samuel, but this stream is gonna be in English. Hey, Felipe Gomez, Christina, Tokubetsu, Medi, how are you guys? Good to see you. Hopefully he join us soon. We'll see. It's another day. Hey, D-Train Coffee. Good to see you, my man. Dana Bush. As I was saying, we're waiting on Charlie, so I'll be back in a second. Just grabbing a box. All right. We're just gonna elevate you guys on a different view. So it's gonna be much better. Okay, much better. So, okay. Waiting on Charlie. Mauro Gomez, I'm based in Melbourne. So Melbourne in Australia. Where are you from? Hey, Henso-san. Morning Gold, Japan. Akbar. Sayan. Valentineke, how are you? Loretta. Let me message Charlie. Let's try maybe through Instagram. Okay. Join my live and request. Let's see if it does it. I can't see him yet. So yeah. Hey, Makbuleb. Good to see you here. Very good to see you. I hope things are good in Sweden. Find a full moon. We know you. You know who's coming on? I hope you do. I think you know this guy. There it is. Charlie joining us. Good morning, Valentika from Belgium. Bonjour. Makbulek, morning. It's afternoon here, but I'll take the morning. It's like a morning. Charlie, here it is. Here we come. All right. Yo,
Yo,
Charlie.
how are you, man?
Good man. Good to see you. It's been forever.
It's feel like I haven't seen you for a long time.
That's right. So I think this live stream is also good for you and I to catch up and have a cup of coffee and
Oh, yeah, coffee.
yeah, just joined by people. Everyone's saying hello. So, like I said, a little bit introduction. But how you been? Have you been well?
Yeah, I've been very well. And hi, guys. I'm Charlie Chu, who is a barista in Melbourne. Good to see you guys.
Um, so let's get started straight away because I think we'll give a little bit of an idea of who you are first on your coffee journey. So I met you 3 years ago, and you were just normal barista working behind the machine, focusing on latte art, and then you moved on onto bigger things. So how did you started your coffee career, and why did you start in coffee industry?
It's a little bit long story, but
That's
uh,
okay. We go 1 hour.
slowly. Yeah, I came to Australia in 2016, which is 4 years ago. Exactly April. It was April. So I was kind of the job soldier in Korea, where I'm from, South Korea, not North. Um, and I was preparing for the coffee study and everything to come to Australia 4 years ago, because at the times uh, the coffee is a kind of my new dream, which I wanted to do in my life for the next step. So I studied for around 3 years, including coffee theory and the brewing extractions and roastings, you know. And I came to Melbourne. The reason I chose Melbourne is because when I was in Korea, I look up the internet and get information, and I saw that, I found Melbourne is the one of the city can learn coffee culture is already very well. It's absorbed into the society. So that's why I chose Melbourne, and then I became a barista 4 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. So
yeah.
how long have you been a barista? 4 years ago? 5 years?
Yeah, 4 years. 4 years in Melbourne.
Okay, that's good, man. And obviously you worked in a lot of shops, doing many hours, many shifts, and different type of coffee shops and different cafe owners. Obviously, you're now working with Nick, at
Yeah,
Commonplace as well as Senali. So those are pretty good places, different but good places to work.
yeah.
Um, and then at some stage, well, I'm gonna say hi to Lamby. Hey, Jess.
Oh,
Charlie live stream works because he has a good stream. And how long have you been playing basketball for? That's a good question,
Thailand,
Jess.
very good questions, because I'm a big fan of basketball. I haven't played it for more than 1 month, unfortunately. So sad.
But how long have you been playing for?
Since the middle school, so yeah, around 15 years.
Well, so you know basketball better than coffee. I get that now.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. True.
all right, that's good. And it's good to see you here, Jess. I hope you're having a good time at home or wherever you are. So then you decided to move on to the competition, and obviously you started focusing. And I follow your journey a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, when and what made you decide to start competing, and why did you choose cup tasting instead of latte art or brewers?
Before I started the competition, to decide the competition, I was very confused with which is difference. Even though I was working as a barista, I didn't have my own standards to be. I wasn't technically saying I wasn't confident enough to myself if I distinguish really good coffee, well extracted or badly extracted. So I wanted to try as a challenge to myself to put lots of effort on making coffee, so I can have my own standard. So I just look up the internet again, and then I just what's the way I can practice my sensory skill, something like that. At the times I didn't have any ideas how can I improve my sensory skill. So I found that there is a one competition, kind of competition. It's called Basis. So I looked it up. So what it is, what is the rule and everything, and I found that just choosing one of different cups out of the 3 cups, and I have to do that 8 times. When I saw that, and I look up the video, and then I saw the competition how it goes. I thought it's good for me. I think I can do it. So yeah. I don't know why. It's come up in my head. Just I can do it. So and then I asked after I got in the St. Alley. There's now it's the owner of Calais, the cafe in Richmond, Alicia. So I asked her. She was the competing at the time. And after the competitions, I learned how to practice from her, and then she let me know it. And after that, I just did many times, at least 3 or 4 times a day afterward. Yeah.
Good. And look, for the people who just tuning in, Charlie actually won the 2020 Southern Region competition. I was there that day actually. Yeah. And basically he got 8 cups out of 8. So for people who don't know the cup tasting, you gotta choose out of 3 cups and pick the correct cup, and in the shortest time as possible. And Charlie smashed it because he got 8 out of 8, and nobody did that on that day. So the next stage it would have been mice, and Nick is joining in. Hey Nick. OJ, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
So basically, he got the first place, and he was able to achieve and compete for the Australia competition. So hopefully, mice will resume in October or November, and you're gonna compete for Australia and the world. Hopefully,
yeah.
Hopefully the world. So that's great. I'm sure. Now, what was your secret that pushed you to win the competition? Because I think a lot of people want to compete, but they're too scared to put in the work. And a lot of people need to understand that it's not easy, but it can be easy with some secrets, with some little behaviors and actions that you've been putting in place. I know how much you've practiced, how much you've exercised. So please tell us what's the story.
Firstly, the amount of how much effort you put in is most important, I reckon. No matter how you are talented or not, but yeah, you have to do a lot. So which means just unlimited the times you have to do that. That's the first thing you need to do. And secondly, you need to find what is the good way for myself to practice, and it's kind of, for example, place and coffee beans and your time and yourself. So if you can't do that by yourself, if you're owner, or if you're not the owner of the cafe business, then you have to borrow the place. Yeah. So that's why I think to Nick, and the way you practice is there are many things, but basically you have to mix the coffee. You have to mix the coffee. For example, one Ethiopia washed and one Ethiopia natural, and then you have to mix with different ratio. For example, one is the natural 60 grams and natural, but the other one 60 grams natural and 10 grams washed. So you just you have to make it very small difference in each pot. So usually we use the batch brew machine for the competition. So it's better to you have the batch brew pots and batch brew machines. But if you have just one batch brew machine, you need to have 3 or 4 the extra pots. It's very important because if you practice with just the 2 pots, your palates will be really exhausted in a short time because you just taste all just the same coffee. So it's better to have the diverse different coffee when you practice at one.
Makes sense. And how often and how many cups do you taste per week? Do you practice every day, every second day? And how many hours? I think people need to understand how much work you've done in order to win the competition.
I used to do 3 or 4 days in a week. Average, sometimes 5 times or nearly every day, but sometimes 1 or 2 times. It's different. But average was the 3 or 4 times. And the time I spent when I did is every 2.5 hours, but including the cleaning and everything, so around the 3 hours, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that you do a lot of time in a day. It doesn't mean that your palates, the practice is efficient. I recommend you practice every day or just as often as you can. That's better.
Yeah. And how important is your diet? Because I don't think a lot of people understand that in order to taste certain subtle notes and tasting notes, in order to identify which one is the right cup, basically you need to have a pretty clean diet and you can't smoke, or ideally not to smoke and drink much. Is that right?
I think depends on the person. It can be different, but I don't normally smoke. I'm not a big fan of the drink. So it doesn't really affect my palate. But I don't know, because other champions or other people who are competing, they might be smoking. They might smoke. I don't know. But in my opinion, alcohol is not good for your palate when you taste it for sure.
Okay, cool, man.
Exception case. I don't know exception case, but basically, generally, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I thought, with Q grading, a lot of people go on a very strict diet for Q grading, so to amplify their palate. I get that. I get what you mean. I suppose it's not as complex as Q grade. I get it. And here it is. Jules asking a question. What's better? Julian. Maybe you don't recognize that username, but Julian is, Julian. You probably, know him. But anyway, is it better Marco Brew or Mocha Master? He asks.
That's a good question. I have a Mocha Master at home, but I don't use it because it doesn't really matter. You use the Marco or Mocha Master. Just as long as it's the same machine, it's fine. I recommend you just to use the same machine. Then it's fine, because you don't need to make a really nice coffee when you practice. Just what you need to do is just distinguish one of the difference. So having the same condition of each cup is most important.
Okay. And so with coronavirus, are you still practicing at the moment and exercising for the competition?
Yeah, I'm doing. I'm not doing as often as much as the before, but still I try to do as much as possible. Yeah, after work.
Wow. It's a lot of dedication and a lot of hard work. That's good, man. And I'm sure that you can really pull it off as far as reaching the world stage and hopefully win it. Hopefully when we're able to get the competition back on track after this pandemic. So would you ever compete for barista or latte art, or you would just stick to cup tasting?
On these cup tastes, it was my first competition experience. Yeah.
But would you like to compete for barista or latte art next in the future?
If I do another disciplines, then next competition will be brewing.
Brewing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool, man. Chef Dan is joining us. Hey Dan, he's been liking the show. I know that cat. He's a good cat. Lots of people that I know in the chat. Saying hi to all of them. All right, cool. So cap brewers later, but for now you're focusing on cap tasting. So I guess how can you keep focused despite everything that's happening around you? Like, what pushes you to still exercise and to still practice?
I took the SCCA, the sensory course as well. That's slightly different to triangulations exercise. Triangulation exercise is kind of, you just training the threshold, which is the minimum, the stimulations of your palate. So if you have really, you can find a little difference. It also helps when you work. But the other side, the sensory, is kind of the cupping. For example, cupping is the finding the aroma and coffee flavor from the coffee, the liquid. So I just wanted to make sure my palate is very accurate, and to have my own standard, so I can be confident when I work or when someone for the coffee, or when I talk about coffee with people. I just wanted to be myself, very strong and confident in the coffee palate. That's why that motivated myself. So I
got you. Makes sense. Before we carry on, we got a couple of questions. One question is, what's your favorite coffee machine? Julian asking. What's your favorite coffee machine?
Coffee machine, you mean espresso machine or brewing machine?
I think it's espresso machine, and I know why he's asking that question.
Espresso machine. I like Lamar Choco. It's my personal opinion, because it's familiar to myself. Most times.
And which model of the La Marzocco do you prefer?
I prefer KB90.
KB90 is where you want to go. Makes sense. And then we got another question from Luna. Hey Luna, you know Luna. Who do you really want to meet in the coffee industry? Who is your idol, I guess, is another question. You know, like, we all want to meet people in the industry that we look up to. So who's one of, name me your top 3 heroes in the coffee industry. I'll add something to it,
Sasha?
Sasha?
Yes, founder of Ona Coffee and Origin as well. And Yama Kim.
Okay.
Yeah. And you?
Good answer. We already met, so that's good. Yeah, I'll try to get Sasha on tomorrow. Matthew Lowen is on. So Matt obviously is the current Australia Barista champion, and he's from On as well. So I'll ask him if he can ask Sasha to join us. It'll be pretty good to have a conversation with him, and I think this is a good opportunity for a lot of coffee people who follow us and non-coffee people to meet the ones that we want to meet. So good answer. So yeah, if anyone else has questions, of course, type them in and I'll ask them to Charlie. All right, so aside from coffee, what's another passion of yours?
Except the basketball, or including basketball?
Include, all right. Yeah, okay, except basketball, I suppose.
Except that? Well, actually, basketball and coffee is the most important in my life. I don't really come up with anything. I'm a very boring person, you know. Very,
No.
Yeah. I will think about it. Yes.
I think it's good, man. Because what I want to achieve by asking these questions to challenge the perception that we can't merge certain passions. But I think it's not the case. I think that all of us, we can chase our passion, our fixation, and even put them together. I think that eventually you'll be able to actually come up with an idea to combine basketball and coffee together. I don't know how, but you can. And that's something for you. That's, to think about. Now, we got a question from Alireza. This name is always difficult. Alireza Avosu. Tell us more about cup taster competition. How does the competition work and what happens in the competition, Charlie? What goes through your mind in those minutes? What's your strategy and what happens? So you can tell us a little bit more the general part of competition so people understand what it means to compete for cup tasting, and also tell me on a personal level what goes in here, in your mouth, in your heart, and what's happening, and how do you keep calm and collected so we can answer that question.
Yeah. Cup tasters is a competition. You have to find one of different cup out of the 3 cups. So for example, the 2 cups are tasted the same, but the other cup tastes different. So you have to pick it up. But there are 8 lines, which is 8 groups. In one group, there are 3 cups. So 2 cups are same, the other is different. But every line in each group, I don't know which cups will be on the cup tasters. But the thing is, you have to find out the difference. So you have to do that 8 times, which means you have 8 minutes, because they give you 1 minute in each group. But it doesn't really matter if you finish the 2 groups within 1 minute, or it doesn't matter. So as long as you finish choosing the 8 cups in a row within 8 minutes. But the one of most important thing is accuracy. So for example, if you finish that competition within 2 minutes, but if you found the six cup is correct, then if someone took 7 minutes, they found the 7 or 8 cups, then that person will win. So accuracy is the first thing, and the second is the speed. So my strategy is just focusing on accuracy first. So I don't really care of the time in the beginning. So if someone already finished, I just focus on more, just accuracy. That's my strategy.
Makes sense, man. And what do you do to keep calm? Like, what happens as soon as the time goes off? What goes through your mind? And if you ever find yourself stuck, how do you get back on track in terms of confidence? If you find a cup that's a bit difficult, how do you get back on track mentally?
So if you are confused with some of the groups, then you just skip that. You can skip that, and then you just finish other group first. And then you just come back, because your palate is already exhausted. That you are confused means your palate might be very confused. It's because the same stimulations. So you just move on, and then just taste different coffee, and then it will rinse the palate anyway. And then you come back and you will find it easily. And aroma is, I think, is very important to distinguish the small difference. So when you feel that, it's all the similar aroma, just move on. Because aroma for me is very important. It's this kind of key I can distinguish. Yeah.
Okay, that's good, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Jules is asking.
Yeah.
Jules is asking, with the advance of technology, so more automatic machine coming better at reproducing barista work, like the Eversys, how do you think baristas' roles would change? I think it's the end of that question. How do you think barista roles will be different? Do you think barista roles will be different with new technology?
I haven't watched the Matt Pugger's presentation a long time ago, a few years ago at the Lamar Choco, as I remember. So I agree with that partially, because he said in the future, what we will do is managing the customer and also managing the technicians, coffee technician technology.
Okay.
So because the coffee machines will make the coffee by itself with very accurate ratio and with perfect precision. So we will keep focusing on the customer service. It might be happening in the future or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think to answer that question myself, I think that ultimately we focus always a lot on the coffee, the machine, the competition and all these things. However, we always need to step back and remember that we are in the people business. So even though technology is advancing, I think that people still want to have a human interaction, a human experience. And that's why we choose a different coffee shop than others, not just because of the coffee, but because of the overall experience. I want to sit down with you or with a friend and have a good experience overall. So I think that baristas will need to improve their people skills, the way they communicate with the customers, and I guess a lot of baristas make the mistake of focusing too much in the milk jug, in the latte art,
Yeah.
but they don't understand what's happening around them. So I think there should be more focus on the customers moving forward. That's my take. We got another question for you from Telvin Eric. What was some of the most awkward situation you've been into in your line of work that you had to improvise? Have you ever been in an awkward situation during a coffee service?
Awkward situation?
Yeah.
Can you tell me any example? I don't come up with any awkward situations. How can you?
Well, awkward situation could be, I don't know, I guess you spill a coffee all over a customer. That would be a little bit awkward.
That can.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Awkward,
yeah. That could be awkward. Something like that, where you give the wrong coffee to the wrong person. Stuff like that, I suppose.
Yeah. The juggling style, yeah? Sometimes when you push wrong, then you just spread to the customer, It's really awkward, I think.
Have you ever done that before?
Yeah, 1 or 2 times. I really
okay. That's okay.
They're really nice. People are very nice. They understood.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. That was a good question, actually. And thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I can't remember any awkward situation that I've had, but yeah, the question was for you, I suppose. Cool, man. Those are good questions. Okay, so what's next on Charlie Planet? What's next for you? What's the next 6, 12, 18 months look like? What do you want to achieve? What's your plan? What's your dream? And what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. Firstly, I'm focusing on my competitions coming. I don't know when it's gonna be for the national, but I just keep practicing for that first, and then it will be great opportunity for me if I win the national and then if I compete in the world as well. So I just mostly focusing on the competition and just keep improving my sensory skill and coffee theory, studying coffee theory knowledge. Because there are lots of things I have to catch up. So improving myself is the first one I want to do. And then after that, if I can be more, I don't know, the great person, then I can do more like teachings and yeah.
So you like to teach? That's good. Nice.
Yeah, education is one of the things I want to do in my future.
Okay. I think we need more teachers and like Korean SCA trainer. You know, he's
Yeah, so
teachers. I get it. That's cool, man. That's cool. Commonplace commented, "World domination." You funny, Nick or Jen? I think it's Nick.
yeah, I think,
And we got a question from. Oh, hang on. Let me say goodbye. Ali Rezavo, your words were so useful and helpful. Take care, guys. Take care, man. Good to see you. Holly Moorhead asked, what's your favorite coffee brewing process, Charlie?
growing process. You mean processing method or just the general?
Method, yeah, to brew. Well, how do you brew? What's your favorite brew?
I like the drink coffee, the filter coffee, and I like Panama and Ethiopia, Kenya. Actually I like everything, all of the regions.
But in terms of filter, what's your preference? Chemex, V60, AeroPress?
V60 is my favorite. I drink everything. Yeah. Favorite.
Okay. And Hollymore, my favorite is whatever I have in the house, and right now it's an AeroPress. So responding to your question, Holly, I brew always my AeroPress because that's all I got. And you already answered her next question, which is what's your favorite region for coffee? And Holly, I agree with Charlie. I think that it doesn't matter where it comes from. There's a lot of good farms out there, good origins. As long as it's roasted and processed well, the quality is really there. It's based on, really based on your preference. Do you like more fruity or stone fruit or acidity? There's a lot to it, to that question. But yeah, my answer is similar. And what's your ratio for V60, Charlie?
My standard V60 ratio is always 1 to 16.5 the ratio first, and then I taste coffee and I adjust.
Okay. Yeah. 1 to 16.5 and you adjust that later. Makes sense. So you mentioned that you might want to teach once your competition is over. Would you ever start and open a cafe, or would you ever start roasting? Are those any interest of yours?
All of them, yeah. All of them.
Okay.
Yeah, just I don't know when it's gonna be, but yeah, I would do that. I would like.
In which order? You rather become a roaster or to own a cafe, or both at the same time could be?
Firstly, if I have to do the priority, the roaster first before the cafe manager or the business owner. Yeah.
Okay. And would you start a cafe in Melbourne or back in Korea?
I haven't decided yet, actually.
Oh.
It depends on my situation in the future.
Okay. Makes sense. Because and when was the last time that you went back to South Korea?
Say again.
When did you visit home last time? Recently, cool. And yeah, go on.
Last year, January, so nearly 1.5 years ago.
Okay, so we had already Caleb. I'm sure you know Caleb Tiger on the show. I didn't get to ask him this question about how is the specialty coffee in South Korea at the moment? What's the coffee culture? So for people who don't know, because we have people from all over the world watching. So how is South Korea at the moment with coffee?
That's a good question. I wasn't in the coffee industry when I was in Korea, but I was also just a customer, and I was a big fan of coffee too in Korea as well. So in my perspective, I think Korean coffee industry is a little bit, it's getting better actually. Getting better means getting more overseas the coffee culture, because coffee culture is not from Korea, so it takes a little bit times to get the overseas culture, because we are spending coffee a lot, but the kind of coffee we consume normally we call that Americano. It's like this week long black, the loss of the water in it with espresso. So, and drip the brewing, the filter coffee as well. We don't really consume the loss of the latte, the white coffee, but still some people like it with some sugar or the sweet the syrup or something like that. But still, young people, I think, slightly getting more into the coffee culture. But still, there are many franchise cafes in industry that affects a lot to customers, the idea and the conceptions. So still, we are growing up, and we have grown a lot. So it's very positive, I think. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, something that Caleb spoke about, and I think it was really correct, and that's something that it will fall onto your shoulder is, I think a lot of trends, a lot of evolution across industry are made by people. So, for example, tennis is very popular in Serbia, because of Djokovic, let's say, right? Or famous tennis player. Or in Switzerland because of Roger Federer. And what Caleb was saying is that he feels a lot of pressure because he was the world latte art champion. So being South Korean and becoming a champion is really important as well to import to your own country new concept of coffee. So, I feel that you can be part of this process. I think that if you win even Australia and you start developing a following of people who follow you on your social platforms, which is important, eventually you guys will change trends for the new generation. So, you got Umpo, Caleb, yourself. There's a lot of good South Korean baristas. So, yeah, there's a bit of pressure. Do you feel a bit of pressure or not really?
Not really. I'm just so proud of them, especially the Jeonju barista, the world champion barista champions that last year. Really, really proud.
Yeah, that's right. So it's good. I think you guys are going to change the industry over there, and I hope it's going to happen in Italy as well, because Italy, that's where I'm from. For the people who don't know, because last year Manuela won the World Latte Art Champion, and she's Italian, Manuela Fanzore, and Gardelli Coffee has won World Best Coffee Roaster, I think 3 years in a row, something crazy. So they won. And we're going to actually have Ruben from Gardelli on the show next week. So we're going to have Gardelli Coffee, Ditta Artigianale, and a lot of other different people. So it's going to be interesting to have different, we got baristas, we got cafe owners, we got coffee roasters, and also we're going to have a couple of farmers in the next couple of weeks. Cool, man. This has been good. Is there anything left that you want to say, or anything that you want to tell people, that we haven't covered?
Well, just thanks for watching today, and thanks for inviting me on your Instagram show, Miko.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. We know each other in real life. This was a good occasion for us to catch up through this technology. And also, I think, like, a few people have left a few comments. You were kind enough to share your experience with competition, cup tasting, so people are learning more about this experience of yours, and hopefully this will bring more people to push themselves outside their comfort zone and try to compete from this year or next year. So thank you, Charlie, for being on, and hopefully I'll see you soon at Common Place, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks,
man. Take it easy, buddy.
Bye. Bye, guys.
All right, there you have it.
So let me turn on the lights because this is getting a bit dark in this area. See ya, Nick. Nick from Commonplace, or Jen, whoever you are, one of the two. So we just finished with Charlie Chu, an amazing barista from Melbourne, originally from South Korea. I hope you guys had a lot of good insights. Now, don't go anywhere. What we're going to do is I'm going to actually start another live on my personal page. So I'm gonna pin it here. Here we go. We are going to go here, and I'm gonna do a story as well. Because what I want to do is, I found it yesterday. I was having a one-on-one session with you guys live, and a lot of you asked a lot of questions. So I would like to grab you, take you to my page, and we can talk there about other things, more to get to know each other, know who you are, and it was really good yesterday. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna post a story, and hopefully I'll see you in the other page. If you're not coming, let me tell you what's the next couple of events and episodes on the show. We're going to have Matthew Lowen from Ona Coffee, current Australia Barista Champion from 2019. He would compete for the World Barista. On Friday, we got Alberto from Tostato Specialty Coffee, the specialty coffee cafe and roaster from Italy. And next week, well, hold yourself. Next week, we got some other big guns. So we got a full 3 weeks of guests from all sorts. Girls, boys, roasters, baristas, cafes, farmers, competitors or non-competitors. So, and hopefully we're gonna bring more entrepreneurs as well, so that we can cover a whole range of topics, not always just about coffee, not always about entrepreneurship, just a good mix. Anyway, I will hopefully see you soon on my personal page, where you can ask any other questions to me, and we can continue the live there. Peace.